Hi, welcome to the Whitey White Guy Show. I am Whitey, and this is a channel where we do movie reviews. I do movie reviews, retro video game reviews, all my retro video games, and unboxings, product reviews. Casey's tater chips are delicious. Here's some preparation H. Anyway, and today I'm going to review the film. Oh, jeepers, what's this even called? Last Day on Mars. Last Day on Mars. I should really pull this up. It's a sci-fi film. It came out in flippity floppity flew. And what you have is you have a group of about eight or ten astronauts who are on Mars. And so this is some point into the relatively near future, maybe next 20 years or so. And they're at the tail end of a scientific mission where they've come up with Jack and they've come up with squat and lots of it. And it's got an international crew, a crew. And the one Russian dude finds um, life. He finds um, like an algae or a fungus or something, but doesn't tell anybody except for one guy. They go on a rover from their kind of base camp out to where that is, and he's in the middle of doing some reads and some scientificness, and then the ground just kind of comes out from under him, and he falls into a chasm likely to his death. The other dude runs back to the base camp. Holy crap, this just happened. And they go out to try to save the guy. Um, and to no avail. Then they have to make comms to get permit, all this stuff. And so one of the ladies in the group who has just like a plutonic concern for this man beyond what everybody else seems to have. She's sitting in a rover afterwards, and then she hears banging and clanking, and it turns out it's that guy. Only the problem is he's now a zombie, basically. They come back in, another dude gets turned into a zombie, and one by one, fate befalls the crew, and they have to use problem solving and come together to try to escape their fate. They try different meds to see if they have like an antibiotic that will they do look in the blood work of the one dude is dead, and can we stop this I don't know if it's a I don't think it's a virus. I think it's a bacteria, but maybe a virus. And they have to figure out what it is that's doing this to people and then try to stop it that way. And it's very alien-esque. One person escapes, spoilers, and then he may be infected, and they leave that ambiguous at the end of the film. Let me pull that up while I'm talking to you about it. This is a pretty good looking film in terms of direction, cinematography, visuals. This is a you're dealing with it's. They're not technically zombies. They're just some kind of infected with some kind of thing that kind of like destroys. It's kind of like mad cow disease type of thing. It destroys your brain, so you're not really you anymore. Or maybe, and that's part of the film is like, what if there's still a bit of you in there, type of thing. So it's an interesting film. But last, it looks good. The performances are really good. Of Mars, yeah. So Last Days of Mars came out in 2013, and read what it says here. A small group of astronauts on their first research expedition to Mars. The mission is coming to an end, and everyone is thinking about the return to Earth when Marco discovers a bacterial fossils. Bacterial fossils is a bacteria, not a virus, proving the existence of life on the red planet. This has Liev Schreiber as the lead. He does a good job in this film. Oh my golly, Romola Gaira, Garai. I never know how to say this guy's name. Elias Koteas. To everybody in my generation, Casey Jones from the Ninja Turtles. He's in this as the captain. Olivia Williams, Johnny Harris, Tom Cullen, and Garen Kostick. Uh, I don't know if I'm getting the names right. Yusra Warsama, Patrick Joseph. Um, it's a good cast. They all do really good jobs. It looks really solid visually. Everything's well done. There's really nothing wrong with this film as much as there's just been one or two too many like it. That's really the only major qualm I have. It's kind of like you know where it's going once it starts going. And one of the problems I always have with this, it's like there's scientists for, I believe it's NASA and all that, but it's like one guy brings a 38 and pop, and these problems are solved. Like, why would there not? So I don't know what it'll be like when someday we colonize Mars. I know when we put 12 men on the moon, they weren't walking around with Kalashnikovs or something. And there's a difference, of course, in atmosphere between the moon and Mars. I don't know what a rifle would do on Mars. But I imagine when you're inside the base camp facility and they got their gear off and they're just walking around, I imagine that's got a similar gravitational pull, and physics. So it's like, oh, here comes when the first two zombies shows up. It's like, oh shit, click, click, pop, pop, solve, problem. And it's hard, they're hip. There was another movie similar to this that was really good as well. I reviewed it at some point. I think it was called Sunlight or just Sun. Yeah, gotta look that up now. But it's the same thing, kind of thing. It's like for a bunch of liberals, maybe this is orgasmic in its idiocy of all the decisions that everybody's making are like the worst decisions you could make every time. It's like, what's that? You're on Mars. If you come up, you find any kind of organic matter, whatever, you have no clue what this is going to do to you. So whomever had thing one to do with that shit, put them over there, go way over there, and sit there with the rifle and wait for them to try to start some shit until you're able to do some tests and figure out what just happened. There seems like there'd be some protocols there. Obviously, in the immediate sense, they couldn't, foresee that the ground would just open up on this dude and he falls into a rocky chasm kind of thing. But it's like once that happens, so at one point they take Liev Schreiber, they're hoping the Russian dude is still alive, Marco. They're lowering him in, and it's like, would you do that? It's a bit of a judgment call because again, I think it's once he's in there, but before that point, like, so the Russian dude doesn't tell anybody because he wants the discovery for himself. He wants to be the guy whose name is associated that forever, I imagine. But they at one point they're in the lab, him and the other dude off there, and the one lady whose name is Humana, she's all pissed because they took off and why did those guys get to go back out there and we have to come back here? We've been busting our ass all day with this shit. So she types up and gets into his profile or whatever on the computer and discovers he's made this discovery of a form of bacteria on Mars, which is groundbreaking. There's got to be some kind of protocols that kick in at that point. So when they're low and leave Schreiber in there, it's like the likelihood of the fall that he's still alive down there. But once you start seeing all this fungal growth down there, which is what that is, there's basically on all the rocks and stuff. It's like, I don't know. Would you roll? Why wouldn't you do that? Well, everything that happens in the movie, and if you follow your protocols, this shit wouldn't happen to you. You fucking hippies. So it's kind of like, yeah, you got to send your scientists in that, but send a few dudes from like Rangers and Recon and guys who know how to kick some ass. One would do. And solve all these problems, prevent them from happening. So it's kind of frustrating because it's like greed, stubbornness, stupidity, fumbling around, fucking up, people who aren't qualified to be in this situation. That can pull you into a film, and for me, it kind of took me out of it. I'm just like, fucking just shoot the guy. Like, so at one point, the captain, played by played by Casey Jones, he gets infected with the thing. He's not. It's like gradually taking him over, and weirdness is happening to his face. And he's on a table, and they're standing around talking to him, and it's like, would you do that though? He's clear something ain't right. I would be 10 miles away. I'm like, you're fucked. And this already killed 3 people. Goodbye. I'm out of here, Jack. I'm not going to stand there and talk to the guy and give him the only opportunity he has for me to be the next victim in the next moment, which is exactly what happens. So it's like if there's movies like this where, there's some kind of thingamajig, and then one at a time people are getting taken. Predator is a great example. The tension pulls you in the movie Predator, is you got an enemy you don't know anything about, you can't see, and who knows what's going to happen next, and the stakes keep getting raised, and the way it's shot just drags you in, and this film just really failed to do that. And so that's what this is one of those films. I did a review of a film called Prefontaine and a film called Without Limits. And the interesting about that is it's about a runner from 1975, an Olympic runner named Steve Prefontaine, who was a phenom. Went to Olympics, barely lost, but before he could achieve greatness, he died tragically in a car accident in his real life. So Without Limits, Prefontaine, it's the same story. It's the same exact beats, the same exact events. The people who did the research for both films talked to the same exact people who knew the guy, from the head coach to the assistant head coach, the guys on the team to his old girlfriend, his parents. It's the exact point by point. They begin with him getting recruited into college, him showing up on his first day, meeting the coach, but they're such dramatic different films. They're so different. And Without Limits pulls you into that world and puts you into the world of a 3-mile runner, which is what he was for the Olympics. And then Prefontaine's just kind of, it just doesn't pull you in the same way. Arlie Ermey's in that. I love that guy. Jared Leto, really good actors giving good performances, but the way it's shot just doesn't pull you in the way Without Limits does. And this is the same thing where it's like they just didn't. Camera angles, lighting and stuff, performances, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just didn't pull me in and make me sit there going, oh shit, is that guy about to get killed? What's the next thing that happen? And instead I'm like, you dumb morons, don't do that, don't touch him, oh, now you got it too, oh jeez, moron. So it's still, it's an entertaining film. Last Mission to Mars, I can't celebrate its wonderfulness because it wasn't that great. Liev Schreiber does a good job. Koteas all time. Koteas. Good actress. Everybody's good. Everybody does a fine job. The one guy, he's the third. If you watch the film, he's the third guy gets it. That was the one guy whose performance really pulled me in. I felt for that guy. And when he got it, I was like, not that guy! Ah! Ah! So, watch myself do that, and it was beautiful. So there was one guy, and I'll say Liev Schreiber, that guy, and a lady. Their performances really I felt for them. They pulled me in. When the one lady gets killed, I'm trying to both explain it and not spoil it. I apologize. But when she gets killed, I'm like, not her. But then there's the other times where I'm like, yeah, just kill that asshole. Like, when the second to last guy gets it, I'm just like, just shoot him in the fucking head. So it's got some solid parts. It's got some intriguing concepts, but there's been it fails to pull you in. And part of it, I think it could have been shot in a different way. with less wides and more get in there and tight and make you feel a little more claustrophobic. Everything is very well lit. Maybe if it was darker lighting, like Aliens, maybe that'd have pulled me in more. But um, it's certainly not nails on a chalkboard. Writing is good in terms of scene for scene and dialogue. Concept is good. It looks good as a film. Acting is good. It just failed to have that one thing. There's something that just yanks you into it. The best I could explain it. So, Last Mission to Mars, whatever the hell it was called, 2013. Hey, check it out. It's certainly not a bad film. I just can't sing its praises. Best I could tell you. So, this is the White Guy Show. If you're still watching this, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button. You've been here before. You know how YouTube works. And then go take out a loan on your house. Or what is it, a mortgage? Put a second mortgage on your home and donate $10,000 to me on my Patreon account so I don't have to go to work anymore because I'm that kind of asshole. I don't want to have a job. I just want to sit around the house and wonder when my hemorrhoids going away. Good journey. And as I slowly make my way over to the there's the stop. Okay.